What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Where the Locals Skate. I'm your host once again, OG Skate Show. This is a podcast where we get to know local skaters on and off the board. And of course, here with me always, well, we have David Peralta in the house, the couch boy. And now let's introduce our guest this week. We have Vince Munoz in the house.
What's up, guys?
Dude, thank you for coming down. Really appreciate that.
No, of course. This is I'm honored. You know, this is a lot of fun. Like I mentioned earlier, like this is fun. I'm excited. I'm kind of excited. This is one of my first times doing something like this.
All right.
So it's a cool opportunity, and it's just, I mean, this place is just sick. Like as soon as I walked in, I'm just like, okay, sick. Like, it's gonna be fun.
Dope.
But I appreciate you guys. And you guys hit me up a while back.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. I remember I bumped into you guys at the skate park. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, like I'm down. And then I think you hit me up. Like we didn't really like connect after that.
Yeah.
And then so it was cool. No, you got hit me up. And
I think the timing is right. You know, like sometimes
everything. I was just sick.
Yeah,
sure.
Everything happens for a reason.
I was down, and then I said for whatever reason, some time went by.
Yeah.
But no, it's just sick. I appreciate you guys hitting me up because it's.
Well, we appreciate you
fun.
Coming down and even tuning into the show, man. I appreciate that.
You've even been highly requested by a couple guests.
Yeah, we've had a few guests that.
Nate was telling me that he was like, yeah, you guys could get Vince on here. So no, this is sick.
That's right. That's right. Sick. All right. Let everybody know what city you're repping.
So, I'm from La Puente.
You're from La Puente.
So. I mean, if I have to pick one, because I've been around. Okay. I grew up in LP, so
okay.
I'm from LP.
Dope.
But I just been around for so long that, like, you know, after high school I moved to Orange County.
You've been OC.
So I was an OC kid from like 18, it's like 17, 18, 19, 20. I went to art school out there. So I moved out and I was living in OC. And then I came back to Wesco. And then I just been around everywhere. Like now I live in Montclair.
Montclair.
But I've been around, Glendora, Upland, Ontario, and it's like it's just a trip. When someone asks me that question, I'm like,
yeah.
If I have to pick one city to rep, it's like kind of a trip. I work in Covina and Pomona. I work at both shops, but I'm mostly in Pomona now.
Okay, for those that don't know, you work for Pawn Shop.
I work for Pawn Shop Sk8. I've been there for almost 4 years. And we have our little Pomona location now.
Okay.
And it's so I'm mainly over there, and then on Fridays I still work in Covina, so it's sick that I can work at both shops.
That's
really
dope.
Fun.
I'm
glad. I kind of miss Covina sometimes.
All right. We'll get into that. Let everybody know how did you start skating?
Shoot. So it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It pretty much just started with just the people around me, like my cousins, and I had family. I had cousins on my mom's side. My cousin Paul, my cousin AJ.
They had boards.
They were skating, and then I had some friends. I think it for sure started with them. I feel like it started with them because right after that I started meeting people at school and friends and stuff. But my cousins, my two cousins, and my cousin Rudy too was actually skating. So my cousins on my mom's side, they were doing it like kind of young.
What year was that around?
This is a long time ago. This is like
90s, 80s?
1990.
Okay.
96.
95? So popsicle sticks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah. Because it just gives me an idea.
For sure, my cousins, I have to say my cousins, like, and you know, my friend Alvis was one of my first friends at, I think my freshman year, that I was like, we were constantly, that's all we did.
That's all you did?
We started building shit, fucking, but
okay.
A lot of people probably remember, I don't know, maybe a lot of people watching the show, like, that kind of grew up in LP, or, you know, might remember Alvis Romero.
Shout out to him.
But, yeah, my cousins for sure. And I said, I can remember, for me, the skating is like something I fell in love with when I really got into it. But I remember just that day when my cousins we were all meeting up at my grandma's house for, it was like Easter or something, and I was like having rollerblades because I was cool with my rollerblades, and like they were fun. I fucking loved rollerblading and just like bombing hills, jumping over trash cans.
Okay.
Like I didn't really have I don't think I really had friends. It was more I think some of my cousins and stuff that were doing it too. But no, I think I had maybe a couple friends, but I think skateboards were around. It's a trip for whatever reason. Like I played a little bit of like roller hockey, and then somehow the freestyle rollerblading kind of came like it started seeming fun. And then I just like I said for me, I was only grinding. I didn't have like those fancy like base plates, or the grind plates or anything like that. I was just about like bombing hills, going fast, jumping off of stuff, jumping over stuff.
That's crazy. That's wild, man. Those things can be scary.
I remember that day.
Your feet.
I said to me they're fun. Like I feel like I could throw a pair on and like go mess around. And it's kind of fun. I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah.
But I remember I remember that day my cousins were skating, and one of my cousins, I think he just had a spare board.
Dope.
He happened to have just like a beat up like loaner board, and he was like, "Here, take this. Like, there you go."
And he let you have it.
And I remember I was learning how to ollie up a curb that day, right there at the school, and I just kind of fell in love that moment for sure. Just fell in love, and I got to take a board home. My cousin had an extra board. I got to take it home, and I remember just.
Dang, that's cool.
So yeah, it's a good. I mean, I think for a lot of skateboarders, they remember that moment.
Yeah.
Like the friend or the person that got them into skating, their first board. I remember it was a zero board. It was all thrashed, but it worked. I think I learned how to. I'm pretty sure I learned how to ollie like up a curb that day, and cool. Like my cousins were like, "Okay. Like, that's not a bad start. Like for your first time skating." And
were they ollieing already?
What's that?
Were they doing ollies?
They were already good.
They're already good.
That's how I was almost a little intimidated.
Okay.
Because I was like.
But because sometimes
you know what I mean?
that's what it takes. So like to see somebody actually do a trick and then you get enthralled with it. You're like,
they pushed me for sure. Like just being around them and seeing them jumping off of stuff, grinding rails and stuff was like, damn. Like I got a long way to go to catch up to these guys, but it was never about being as good as them or being as good. It was always just like skating, just have fun. Like they were obviously, and they were younger than me. You know what I mean? So it was a trip, like, and it was never about competition, especially with my cousins. That's my family, and I want to see them, do good and
show you some stuff too.
I'm pretty sure they were stoked how like excited I got about it, and when I got into it, and all of a sudden it was just like boom. They're from Claremont, Pomona area, so we skated a lot at Claremont, just in that Pomona and Claremont area, schools, Claremont skate park when it opened up. And that was one of the only parks at that time, I think, that I can remember besides Huntington Beach, like skate park. Like it was not.
That was old school.
I don't know. It's so long ago. I don't even remember. All I remember is we didn't really have skate parks.
Yeah. Are you goofy or regular?
I'm goofy.
Goofy footed.
I'm goofy.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned earlier when we were talking that Pyro when did Pyro come around?
So Pyro's
the shit.
Pyro, like I said, I feel like it had to be like 95, 96, because I started skating, and then like right after, it just popped up in the mall, and it moved. Like it was in this little, it was like downstairs in this little spot, and then it moved upstairs, and it was still kind of a small spot, and they had a mini ramp in there. Oh. But I remember going into the first spot, and like it's just such a trip. But it was there for a cool minute.
Then they had the big skate park too for a while.
Yeah, so eventually it moved from the second spot. They moved to the whole other side of the mall, and it was a bigger store, and it was connected to an indoor outdoor skate park.
Right.
So it was pretty insane. Like to look back and to see, like it was insane. And I know Vans was already kind of doing their thing with their parks and stuff.
Yeah.
And like OC and like Ontario, I think Ontario had a Vans park. But that was insane, and it was sick. Like I mentioned, like Day One song would come all the time and skate it.
That's cool.
So that was crazy.
I remember as a little kid always passing by and just being stuck on the window watching everyone skate, and my mom would be like, "Come on, let's go." It
was super sick. Oh. It didn't last. Obviously, it didn't last that long, but they did do a big demo one time. I think pretty sure Costin and everybody was there for like this demo.
That's cool.
So it was. For me as a kid, just kind of getting my feet wet and like getting into like working in skate shops and being pretty crazy.
Is that where you would go get your stuff? Is that the Loco at the time?
Yeah, for sure. I want to say I think at that time Active was already around. They were big. Active and Utility were big, but living in LP, like we didn't really hang out Puente Hills Mall like that much, but they had like a little arcade there. They had a movie theater there, and they were close by. They're just as close as Wesco Mall was to us, and that's where we would hang out a lot too. But yeah, it was sick to have that little shop, and so they moved into that bigger spot. I said I got a job there. Like you ended up working there. Yeah, I don't even know how. I just applied, I guess. I just remember going in there and just being stoked to be in there and like kind of being trying to be cool with the guys. And I feel like I was pretty lucky because I feel like I mentioned earlier, like that was kind of the beginning in a way of like,
right.
You know, now I'm kind of doing the same thing 25 years later.
That's
you know, still
cool.
working.
Like, you know the layout. You know what it takes to run a shop. I'm sure.
I mean, I don't know everything. I know
Right.
I feels good to be like a manager, you know,
Mhm.
and to have some responsibilities, you know, because
That's
when I
cool.
was at Zumies, I worked at Zumies for a little bit. I didn't really. It was cool, but I didn't move up there. I was
Right.
never.
You were just,
I
what, stocking shelves or what?
never. My first year, I did get to do the 100K, and that was cool. Like Zoomies was cool experience. It led up to like where I am now. So
Right.
I like telling the story because it's all just part.
What would
of,
they
you know?
have you do at the Zoomies? Like,
I was just a sales kid. I
Sales
got
kid.
I got a job there at like 29 years old, and I was just a sales kid,
wow.
and I was like the a skate tech. And I grew up I grew up around in LP, so West Coast Mall is like home, and it felt sick to feel like okay, it's not a skate shop, but as we sell skateboards, it's supposed to have that type of feel like a skate. They still try to, you know, they try to.
I mean, from what I heard, we've had a lot of people on the show actually that used to shop there. So
A lot of people still do, and it's
yeah.
like
It's still there.
it's always gonna be one of those things where it's like they're you know like Borders is cool too. Like they're cool.
Are
Like,
they in a mall as well?
They're a big skate shop in West Coast. Everybody
Yeah.
knows Borders, and I'm friends with some of the guys that work there. They're cool, but they're always gonna be like those people that like are just anti like the mall. Like they're just like, oh, it's a
There are
skate
those
shop in the
people out
mall.
there.
Or Zumies is always gonna be that like what you got that at Zumies? Like that's whack. Like you
It-
should have went to
I can
pharmacy,
feel
or
that.
should went to the pawn shop, or should have went.
It almost feels like it's a place where a kid can go and with their parents, you know, and and
It's
then when the
it's-
kid starts learning, like he starts talking to his friends, and he goes, "Well, you guys got to go to this shop," or
Like I
I'm
said,
sure it's a good starting point.
it's a trip. It's a trip because they you know they're our competition. You know, straight up like
Yeah.
you know they're Zumies and shops like that. Like they're skate shops like enemy in a way. You know, and there's just always that like
Because you always want
there's
people
just
to come
always
shop for you in
Yeah.
your stores, right? Yeah.
But it was a cool. It was a cool. I'm so happy I ended up where I'm at now. And like
Mhm.
I trip out how I you know it's pretty awesome to you know to be with Pon and to but. It was a good experience for me because it taught me a lot about customer service.
Mhm.
I got to do the 100K thing, and I feel like I just learned a lot about
What's
myself.
What's a 100K thing?
So the top sellers in the company for Zoomies throughout the year, the top 100 sellers
Mhm.
to sell over 100,000 because they keep track of everybody's you know sales.
Oh,
The
okay.
top sellers get to go to Colorado every year. They do this for their workers, for their
Mm.
people. Colorado trip, 2 days, party, free stuff. Just hooked up, like
I mean-
and it was sick. So I was lucky enough to go my first year. And
If
I
my
had a
company is listening to this podcast, you know that'd be some good incentive for some people. You know, like hey, if we can get this much product out the door, guys, you know,
blast.
you know?
I don't think a lot of people. Maybe a lot of people don't see that, or they don't know that.
Right.
So I said I don't have anything against them. They do some cool stuff like that for their employees.
Mhm.
But there's just always gonna be that thing where people feel like, yeah, but they're not a skate shop. You know,
Yeah.
you could buy SBs there. You could buy a primitive board there. Like that's sick. Like that's cool
mean-
because at the same time, like the way I look at it, it's like
They're still
they're
open.
still helping
They're doing
pushing
something.
skateboarding too, though. in a
Yeah.
way. So
And they
on
have
that side of it,
do
it's
they
like
still do the contest as well? Don't they have like a best foot forward or something like that?
they used to do some
They
shit
do-
like
they-
that.
They do like the Zoomies couch tour or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
they do some shit. They do
Mhm.
some little events and shit here and there. They do, but it's a trip, man. But that's straight up like that was part of my kind of like
Your
little road to getting there because one of my good buddies that I met through Zoomies, my friend Ricky, he I stayed friends with him. We skated and I stayed friends with him for a long time, and he ended up kind of getting me a job with the Concrete Visionary dudes.
Okay,
You
yeah.
guys are probably aware.
yeah. I've
So
heard
I
of
actually was working with those dudes for a couple days. It's a trip. That literally is how I got the job at the shop at Pond. Was I was working at my homie Ricky. They hit me up out of nowhere, and it was pretty sick. It was pretty sick. I said, looking back,
So
it's
you only
cool.
work for Concrete Regiment.
I was there for a couple days, and
And Pond hit you up.
Pond was right there. So I went into one day to get. I needed bearings. We didn't have bearings there because it was just mostly just like the insoles, and
Wow.
it was really like it was cool. Like,
Yeah, I remember when
I
concrete was right down the street, right?
I was honestly pretty stoked to have that opportunity. That when they hit me up, like Jason and Joey Brzezinski called me. I was in Vegas, and they called me, hey, what's up? Like, Ricky recommended you like to work at the shop,
Right?
and I was like, hell yeah! Like I was pumped. I was pumped. So shout out to those dudes for like hitting me up. I know when I left, it was kind of just bounced.
Mm-hmm.
But though I was a fan of Joey Brzezinski as a kid, and so it was kind of cool to be on the phone with him. And him kind
very
of
techie skater.
He was like, oh, you should work at Zumies, blah blah blah. And so they gave me. I got in there, and I was only there for a couple of days. So my buddy Ricky was I think he was a sales rep for them and whatever.
Okay.
But he kind of got me in there. Was there for a couple of days. Went over to Pomona to get some bearings, and Anthony was there, and like we were just talking. Like he was he was just chilling. He was in the back, and we just talked, and I knew who he was. He had met me before, but we weren't like super acquainted with each other yet. And we just talked, and we just were bullshitting. And I mentioned that I was like, oh yeah, I started working. He's like, oh, are you over there? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, that's cool. He's like, all right. And then we just kind of kept talking. And then he kind of was like, dude, I think you'd be sick like working here, straight up.
Same
like,
day.
Right there.
Right there.
He was just like, and I was like, yeah, no, that would. I didn't like kind of like in shock a little bit, like kind of tripping, like for real. And
Concrete Visionary is not there no more, right? No.
But
so I
that was
think
it
you
was
probably
pretty
made a good choice.
for me. It was a real special moment, and like I said, telling the story. I've told it a few times, but like that day was just really cool for me because I always wanted to work there since 2010 when they opened the shop. I always thought, hey, that'd be sick to work there, but it was always just like a small shop. Right. It's like unless you were like on a team or you know what I mean, like good luck, But I would go in there and I talk to Jake and like say what's up and buy shop boards and come in and see if they have any pong gear every once in a while. And it was just a cool shop. It was tiny. Had the mini ramp. I got to skate the mini
Covina,
ramp.
right?
Yeah, I'm sure people will probably remember the mini ramp.
Yeah,
the OG shop. And that was pretty sick to mess around with that. But yeah, it was 10 years from that point on, from when they shop opened, when I was coming around, like basically 10 years later, is when I kind of got offered. So I feel like they kind of recruited me. It wasn't like I didn't go in looking for work or looking for. I kind of had given up because it was just like, but yeah, it was super super cool. Like I know Anthony, like he likes that story too because it was just a trip. Yeah. Because he felt. Like it was kind of random for him to be like, damn, this dude just walked in and like he just seems cool. I think they needed somebody that just had some experience, been around. I still skate, obviously it's worked out. I've been there for almost 4 years, and it's been really really cool. And I appreciate them, everything they do for me, like so much. And I try to do my thing, and I do a lot of artwork for the shop now, and.
I noticed you're doing the tech decks and all that.
I do a lot of my own like personal stuff, but just a lot of the stuff, the flyers and stuff for the Instagram and all the when we have events, all the posters and stuff that we do for events and stuff. Like I've been pretty. They got me pretty busy with. It's fun. Yeah, I've been drawing and stuff since I was a little kid. So to be able to bring that side of like what I do and like.
And then you get to display it, and they're using it. That's awesome.
That's been just on top of everything. That's been kind of even something that's even more cool about being there is like being able to show my artistic side and do stuff like that. It's even a bonus, and it has helped boost my my art. Right. And trying to get what I'm trying to do, like you said, like I make little fingerboards and stickers, and I make all kinds of random stuff, and I try to sell it and it's cool. A lot of people have been supporting, and I have gotten a lot of followers and people that know about my stuff because of the shop and me being tied to the shop. So it's been really really sick. And like I said,
it's amazing.
Yeah, I think Anthony, Donovan, like our whole crew is sick. Like our whole crew is sick. But I just want to thank those dudes and like
shout out to them.
It's been really really sick. It's been one of the coolest things for me like that's happened in my life. Honestly, like
that's dope. That's dope. Let's take it back to skating a little bit.
A little emotional.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Hey, dude, that's awesome. That's what you're.
No, it's been.
That's
sick.
when you know you love it.
It's crazy to talk about it like that because, and they know it. They know it doesn't even really feel like a job sometimes. It doesn't even feel like a work sometimes. Like it's so most of the time it's just fun. Like I get to open up a skate shop and kick it with my friends and like play music, play skate videos.
You're doing what you love to do.
meet a bunch of cool pros. Like that's one of the coolest things too. Just being or just all the people, and that I've been able to meet and like take photos with, and like
that's dope.
It's sick. That feeling never really went away from me. Like as a fan of skateboarding, you know, like when Lance Mountain first came in the shop, I felt like a little kid. And I was like, dude, like that's Lance Mountain, and like I was like scared, and you know, like but Guy Mariano, you know, cruising in the shop, Shane O'Neill, Yuto, Frankie.
Oh, cool.
I mean, the list. You know, we had some big events.
That's one I want to meet is Yuto because I have a board for him to sign.
We had some heavy hitters come through the shop, like Louis Lopez for the FA hockey event signing we did. Obviously, he's a big fan favorite.
Well, so we were there when you when the Baker team came down and you guys.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like
that was rad.
Awesome for me. I was like, awesome, and I had to work the shop that day, but I did get to go over to the hockey rink and like. Kick it and take a photo with Reynolds and like kind of just be able to try to enjoy it a little bit. You know,
that's why I hung up those boards.
The Vans one that we did was amazing too. We had Rowan there, Tony Alva was there, Jeff Rowley. I got to kick it with Jeff Rowley and talk to him. To me, that was like a dream. I met with Jeff Rowley at a skate shop, and like I have a photo of me and Jeff Rowley at a skate shop in Huntington Beach like 25 years ago. Wow. And I showed it to him. Like, dude, this is us. Like 25 years ago, and he was like...
You've had it in your phone till the moment you can meet him and show him?
Yeah, I mean, I had it on my Instagram, and I knew he was going to come around, and I wanted to show it to him. But that, like I said, he's always been one of my favorite skaters, so to hang with him that day and to take another photo with him, and I did artwork for that one, too, and I drew Rolly doing the big, the big 50-50?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I drew...
The one at the Staples Center? Or Crypto?
I think so.
Sorry.
The Convention Center.
Yeah. Oh, Convention Center. Yeah.
So all the skaters that were going to come for the Vans event, I drew them. I did like 8 different.
I think I remember that.
And they're still actually if you go into the shop, they're still plastered on the wall. But that was a really fun project as far as like some of the cool art stuff I got to do. But that event was crazy to have all those dudes there and to see. We had we blocked off the street and they did a whole demo and the people skate right there on the side. And that's what honestly is the coolest thing about Pawn Shop. About for me working there, but just in general about that shop is they do shit like that. You know, they bring vans like literally like a whole tour. That was a make impact tour. I think that was the last stop that he went around, and not all the dudes skated, not all the pros that showed up skated. A lot of them were just chilling, but it was still cool. Fans were still able to come up to them and get an autograph. And
that's what's cool about that too, because you know sometimes if they're busy skating, you know, the kids are excited to watch them skate, of course, but if they can interact with them, it's probably even more special to them.
It was super sick. Elijah Burrow was like kind of putting on a show. He was skating. Kern was skating. Rowan was skating. Tony Alva was skating.
Okay.
Andrew Allen. I mean, that's just what I saw. I was kind of in the shop too, kind of running around.
Yeah.
But for me, I would definitely wanted to go out and like just catch some of the action for sure.
That's cool.
Awesome. So those events to me for sure. And the hockey premiere. So to me, my top ones are like the hockey 10 premiere, and then our dunk, our premiere and stuff for our SB dunk.
Yeah. And
then the Vans event, the Baker event. Those are like probably the top for me. And then we've done a lot of stuff. I've been there I've been there for a while. We've done a lot of cool stuff. But those are like up there where it's like, damn, that was a lot of fun. Like, the most recent one actually, the Frankie one was really sick too. Welcome to the team, Frankie Villani.
Yes.
For our first event at our Pomona shop, I felt like we killed it. Like, just everybody that helped out with that, like Nate building all the ramps, and like this Frankie like getting there early and like painting on the boxes.
I've seen
like,
that on the Instagram.
I mean, I said we've done a lot of cool stuff there. That was a real special one for sure because Frankie's just super sick, and like we're super stoked to have him like part of the team, and he seemed stoked about it.
Putting his artwork on the, he took the time to do that. And,
you seen that? He did his little duck logo. Cool. That's like just it's like some crazy like duck logo.
Another reason I hung up the Frankie board because I knew he was on Pawn now.
Sick.
So
I said I'm a huge fan of him. So that was super sick, and it was so cool because that was our first event at our Pomona location, and so our Pomona shop. It's in this big building, but like when we do events and stuff like that, we have a whole venue that we can use for like video premieres and stuff like that. We're gonna do some sick stuff right there with the venue. And I mean that and we are actually, you guys might have probably already heard, but we are building a skate plaza on the side of the building.
Okay,
that's something that's pretty crazy.
That's pretty sick.
We're having to have an actual little skate spot on the side of the building, like right outside our door.
Is that gonna be like for the Flat Bar Fridays type of thing, or is that something
separate? I don't even know if we're gonna. I don't even know. I like because for right now, we're doing Flat Bar there now in the parking lot.
Right.
This like OG style, kind of like the way we do it in Covina. Covina, we go to Covina Park, and what's kind of cool about Pomona for Flat Bars is that we could just use literally our back parking lot and set up that. So for the Frankie thing, that's what we did. We blocked off the whole lot, and Nate made a special box that went like this, just for Frankie, like a custom box. Frankie, I think it was Frankie's idea, but he made a sick box that had a curve like that on both sides.
That's cool.
And it was awesome. Like it was. I got to be the one to kind of run back and forth. I mean, me and Nate are the main are kind of basically co-managing the Pomona shop, and so I got to be the one to kind of run back and forth. If people needed something from the shop, we wanted to keep the shop open, and it was right there. And so it was kind of Anthony was cool about it. He's like, just put a note on the door and says, hey, we're in the back. We're skating. If you guys need it, if you need something, come get me.
Yeah,
so I just left a note, and so I was just running back and forth and trying to help people get boards and stuff.
That's dope.
That was a really, really super fun. I think for our first Pomona event, it was perfect. Like gang of people showed up.
That's right.
A lot of kids from everywhere. Probably a lot of kids from Santa Ana.
Are they showing up excited to like skate or meet Frankie as well?
Both, everything. Yeah, both? Like I said, I feel like a lot of those people were Frankie fans, and he's from Santa Ana, so I know he's probably got there's probably a lot of skaters out there that. They hear, they see, because he, as soon as we started posting about it, especially we're giving away free T-shirts, and free tacos, and
that's
just, cool. It was awesome. I said, there's been a lot of cool stuff that we've been doing, and the list just keeps going, adding on, and like, it's cool to be a part. It's so cool to be a part of all that, and especially to do the artwork. I spent some time doing like a sick flyer for like welcome to the team, Frankie. I just made this dope flyer. So we can post it, and just to have to make some stickers to give to some people, and like that's cool. That was a special one for sure.
Yeah, and then this episode's gonna drop on Thursday before Skateboarding Day. Go Skateboarding Day. Do you guys have any plans for that?
So for actual Go Skate Day, I'm not sure what's going on.
I heard something about an ice cream and
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
As far as I know, the skate park, Covina skate park, is the grand opening is June 22nd, so the day after Go Skate Day. From what I understand, I hope I'm right. I'm pretty sure it's 22nd, and we're gonna go big. Like I said, we were a big part from the beginning of the skate park being built. Mm-hmm. The city kind of came to us and said, "What's up? You guys have been here for 10 years, 12 years. How do you guys want to do it? Like, we have a spot, whatever. I guess we have the funds." But the ball started rolling, and they hit us up, and Donovan drew like a little sketch on a little like piece of cardboard. I still have a photo of it. Like it's a piece of cardboard about this big.
Yeah.
It's like with some like scratches on it, and he just kind of sketched out like a really super like simple little sketch of what he thought like would be a cool layout as far as like to have transition around and kind of be like flat, but just like transition, kind of simple, like just real mellow, chill.
Like a plaza or
just a little park, but like something kind of mellow, but with like transition, kind of like almost like the Flat Bar Fridays, how it's like in a hockey rink, and then we just set up rails.
Have you been to the Huntington one, and it's got like just curbs and stuff like that? There's no transition there.
I haven't been there.
You haven't been there? But yeah, that's the only thing that park is missing. Like it could use like a little tranny in there, a little transition.
I think his vision was just something kind of simple, some sick ledges, but transition all around the side of it.
I've been seeing some kids skating it.
So just imagine quarter pipes and banks.
It's not like you land one thing, you can just bounce around, right?
Exactly.
You can just keep flowing and enjoying yourself.
Just flowing. Yeah, exactly. And so I took that drawing, and then I drew it out, and then we kind of all got together, kind of tweaked it. We got with some of the team guys. We wanted some input. We wanted input from some of the team guys.
The cool part is that they let you guys design it. They didn't just come in and say, "Hey, here you guys go," and you guys are like, they didn't do it justice or whatnot, But that's rad.
It didn't come out exactly like the way we,
Well, but they did their best.
Yeah, it's a trip, but yeah, I think from the beginning that's what kind of what we wanted. It's just something kind of simple and wanted to be kind of like mellow for like so kids a park that kids could learn how to skate.
Okay.
And not where you just go and you're looking up at a 15 stair rail or like
or that giant wave.
And it's sick to have stuff like that. It's sick when skate parks have a 10 stair, 15 stair. Like it's cool because kids are skating that stuff.
Right.
Like for me, like even with the Covina park, like there's a like a handrail with like two hubbas like on like a sounds like pretty big like 6 stair, and I just feel like it's tight, but it's not something that like a lot of people are going to be really skating. You know, it's more for the advanced skater, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I think but that's just a section of the park. But we really wanted the whole park to be kind of mellow and fun. You know, for kids can go take their scooters or roller skates and have this cool skate park for the city.
Right.
Obviously, it's a skate park, so that was our main goal. Was that it was a cool skate park, but we just wanted families to be able to go and kids, and we want to do like skate lessons and stuff there. Okay. And it came out pretty nice. I said some of it I felt like I thought was gonna be more mellow as far as some of the obstacles, but like I said, it kept kind of true to what like for the most part we wanted like a mellow, just like a chill pyramid in the middle, like a mellow pyramid. So I got to roll around there. It's not. Recently I was in the area, so I stopped by and I got to roll around there a little bit. It was kind of cool because like nobody kicked me out, but I jumped in the bowl and kind of cruised around the bowl, and it was just kind of like a dream, to be honest. It was kind of a trip because we put like I said we kind of built that, and we it started with us.
Yeah,
that's right.
And it obviously definitely it went through processes of like showing like I made a whole 3D model of it. Out of clay, and it was like last minute, like it was crazy, but it was like sick, and we took it to the city, and we
presented
sick.
it. This
like,
is what we want.
And so it was cool to have. We had a drawing. I had it all drawn out. It was like me, Anthony, Wolf, and Donovan. I think we showed up to the city, this little spot, and it was kind of cool. Like I said, especially because that was the very very first meeting with the city where we're like, yo, just check it out. This is what we're thinking. So they had a they were stoked on it, and it was super sick. And then they had to kind of approve of it, and then eventually had to go through to Spawn Ranch, who built it. They had to eventually go get the plan. So we had to meet with this dude. I think his name was Vince too, and he had to go through, and he kind of tweaked it. He kind of tweaked it a little like too much, where he brought it back to us, and we were like, kind of looking at it like, this is the same.
This is not what we sent you. Yeah.
And so it was a process. We had to kind of go back and forth a little bit.
That's cool.
We had to say yo like.
But it's built now.
It's done. It's done, and it's. I said it was a trip to go there the other day and roll around. Was like it was really crazy. For me personally to go from that clay, from Donovan's little drawing to like a model to like being standing in the park,
right,
like rolling around. It was pretty cool. So I'm excited for the city. I'm excited for any skateboarder. Like people are already skating it. Obviously everyone's excited. Everyone's already skating it, which is cool, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see that, I mean, especially for a city
we always skated before they opened.
Especially for a city there's been so much like cool skateboarding, in the city took so long to have a skate park.
Right.
Like it's special. So we're gonna go big. It's gonna be sick. Bunch of giveaways. Vans should be there. Vans, Nike. I think we're gonna try to get Converse out there.
Okay.
I think we're gonna do some fun stuff. I'll just say we're gonna do some fun stuff for sure, because it's been special for the whole community, for the city, the surrounding cities. You know what I mean? Everyone just connected with the shop. It's a big deal. So it's super exciting. So that's a big one. That's gonna be a big one for us.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
But going back to the Pomona thing, like I said, it's just the whole that building and that whole it's gonna be really sick. It's already sick, but once we build a little plaza there, when more things start opening up, and there's a restaurant opening up in there and stuff like that, and we get a bigger sign out there.
Yeah.
Like all these things kind of coming together. It's gonna be sick. It's already.
I hope people go out and go visit.
I hope anybody that has not been to our Pomona shop yet, come check it out. We're stocking it up right now. We're really trying to take it serious, and we're building shelves, and we're gonna stock it up. It's people that have been there already. Like it's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like the building is big, and we can utilize a lot of the building for events and stuff like that. But the actual shop itself is pretty tiny, but it's still sick. It's still
That's
super
sick.
sick, and we're stocking it up, and you know, like
That's dope.
it's sick. It's a trip to even have a little mini pond.
What's the
You know,
cross streets it's on?
It's right on. It's on Gary. It's pretty. It's pretty close by Gary and Holt. It's
Yeah.
in the old Pomona YMCA building.
Okay.
So the building itself has like a
It's like
crazy
a brick
history.
building, right?
It's a big brick building that they cleaned up, and it's a trip. Like I said, it's really because it's a crazy zone right there.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, people that are familiar with the area.
Okay.
It's not, you know, there's a lot of homeless, a lot of
Okay.
druggies, straight up. Like it's a little rough. It's kind of a
Yeah.
rough zone right there, but the building is beautiful. It's restored, and
That's dope.
it's sick to be in there.
Hopefully doing that to clean up the surrounding areas as well.
One of the coolest things about real quick is so right on the side of here's a building right next to us, right on the side is the cathedral.
Okay.
And it's a big venue for bands, and for people can rent it out for parties or weddings, whatever. But it's a big venue, and they've already I saw Violet Minefield play there a couple weeks ago, and so it's so cool. Like that day was so crazy because I worked, and then I went home, and then I came back, and all of a sudden there was just a show right there.
Okay.
That's
I
crazy.
remember I grabbed a drink, and like ran into a couple homies, and then all of a sudden I'm at a show.
Yeah.
At, like the same building that I just left work.
That's
So
cool.
I remember just being like, "Damn, this is gonna be cool." Like the music and Pomona. That's what's so cool about Pomona too. It's very artsy. There's a lot of musicians, a lot of artists and stuff that kind of hang around, and they do. I think they have like an art walk and
Yeah.
stuff there.
It's like every second Saturday of the
So
month.
and we're right there by downtown too. We're right there, like just on the other side of the train tracks. So I feel like we're still kind of in that mix. So it's gonna get better. It's a little slow. But yeah, if anyone that hasn't, come check it out. If you're in the area, check it out. We're working on stocking it up, and we're gonna be doing some fun events and some really cool stuff there.
Oh, can't wait, man. We'll definitely put the address in the link below.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anybody you want to collab with that you guys haven't worked with yet?
Collab. Oh wow, that's a good question. You know what we haven't done a hockey board.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Okay.
When we had I don't know if you guys probably know, we had a fire like 3 years ago.
Yes.
2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember hockey made us like a sick shirt, and it was a hockey pawn shop shirt. It had like one of the Donovan like graphics
Yeah.
on it. Sick ass shirt, badass shirt. I wish I would have got like a couple of them, you know, because
Did they get burned in the fire or what happened?
no, they made it like for us like after the fire to kind of help us. Like a lot of people helped us out during that time.
Right.
A lot of people pitched in, and I think they was like a GoFundMe. The city started like a GoFundMe thing, and some of our vendors and stuff like hooked us up and like helped us out to kind of like get going again, because that was obviously a tough one.
Right. And at that same time too, because I mentioned this on Nate's show, I believe as well, that I had won like some gift cards through the 9 Club, like a $200 gift card, and I went to pawn shop, and that's right when it like kind of caught fire, and they're like, "We still got some stuff if you want to look around," and I'm like, I'll come back when.
I kind of remember that.
Right, and then I was like, "Oh yeah," and I was talking about it to maybe it was you I was talking
Yeah, I
to.
kind of remember that. It's a trip.
And I went with my lady, and then we left, and then I came back like maybe a
that's
couple
trip.
months later.
I do remember that.
I came back a couple months later, and then I bought some shoes, and I bought this shirt as well.
No, it's a trip. I actually do remember that.
Yeah.
Because that was a while back.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a trip. That's super trippy because to think about that. But so going back to the question, like
Yeah, hockey would be cool.
I don't know why we haven't done one yet, but that shirt was sick.
So
and that was a cool collab that they did.
That graphic would have been a cool board. You're saying?
It is a board.
Oh, it is a board.
Well, the graphic, not the hockey pawn shop, but the
okay.
graphic on there, the drawing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Donovan, one of his. I think it's one of his first boards.
Dope.
But I think for sure a hockey. Obviously, just Donovan skating for hockey and stuff, and John, and Lil Joe, like, it's sick, and we sell a lot of FA and hockey boards. I feel like those guys have got a lot, especially in Covina, and just people that support the shop, like they like love FA and hockey stuff. And they want it because it's like it's all kind of connected, kind of to the pond.
Is that what's selling the most? Is FA?
What?
And hockey?
Yes, that's what. always does good, and I feel like that's an obvious like part of the reason. It's just is those guys being part of hockey and being, having their names like it's sick.
And
it's
then
super
people
sick.
come to support as well.
I don't know. That's a show. I don't know, but for sure, a hockey pawn shop board. I feel like maybe it's in the works already.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that one for sure. We did the bigger one we did was super sick. But I don't know what else. That's the first thing that kind of came to my mind right now. Because when I think collab, I automatically just think board. That's cool. Yeah. And they did a creature one. They did a chocolate one. Like in the past, before even I started working there, they did a real skateboards one. It's super sick, and it's like the real logo, but it's like pawn shop, and it says "Home is where the heart is." That's dope. And it's like super sick. So I want to try to get my hands on some of those if I can.
Yeah. Those are cool, man. Those are always good memories.
To me, those are super like, I don't know. It's special.
And they're small runs too, so they'll be rare. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Good collector boards.
Yeah.
We did a black label one last year, and it's like the baby with like smoking.
Yeah.
And they just took that logo, and then it just says pawn. And so it was kind of simple, but it was kind of cool. It was really cool. A lot of people were hyped on it. They made some like crazy shapes. It's a black label board, so it was like some crazy like
Lucero, right? Lucero. Did he help work with that or?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. That was a fun one. The Baker one was sick. I mean, since we have Frankie now, like we have
maybe primitive.
I think that might be kind of cool to do something like that with Frankie. But that stuff's super fun. I get excited anytime I hear that we're doing another collab or something with someone. Like we did grip tape with Grizzly a couple years ago. Like, we've had it, so we still have it. We've had it for a while.
Yeah, because the homie that was on the show as well. He says he has a bunch of Grizzly grips still.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
because I said, what's your grip of choice? He said Mob, and it said, but I'm using Grizzly because I got a pawn right now.
No, it's kind of sick. It's the Grizzly bear, but it has like the wing, the wheel is like in his like belly.
Okay.
And the wing is kind of just coming out to the side. So they kind of just stuck the wing and wheel like on top of the bear, and it looks kind of sick.
Yeah.
And then they made it where the actual wing and wheel is yellow. So just when you look at it, you kind of just see the wing and wheel, but it has the bear.
Yeah.
So it's pretty sick.
That's dope.
It's kind of cool to have in the shop, and I know a lot of people skate mob, and we've been selling a lot of pepper grip.
Pepper?
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
But Grizzly's kind of been around for a long time too. Shake John. So we carry a little bit of everything.
People have their preference though. You see it like.
Yeah. For some reason, we haven't got any Jessup in the shop in a while, and I know a lot of people like Jessup. Okay. But we sell a ton of mob. Mob's always like the number one. Like kids that even kids that just start skating and don't even know anything else. They're just like.
They heard the word mob and they're like, I want that.
Yeah. So that's definitely the most popular.
That's cool. Let's take a quick break real quick.
All right.
Yeah. Be right back. And we're back, everybody. I still want to keep on that, like what kids are buying in the skate shops, because I'm just curious. Like, what are anybody asking for anything that you guys ain't carrying, or are they
sometimes we don't carry every brand. There's a lot of brands. There's sometimes big brands that come in that I never heard of, and then all of a sudden we have them. And it's like, okay, sick. And then so of course, when the time comes, that's when I try to kind of do my homework. And so customers ask, oh, what's Violet? Or what's Limousine? I know, like, oh, actually, so-and-so started. So it's hard to kind of keep up with that.
Violet is actually...
Violet is a big brand right now.
Wow. And that's Cater's brand.
So that's Cater, yeah, I think.
And Limousine is another one.
Limousine is another one. That's.
I haven't heard of that one either.
Yeah, so it's kind of newer, kind of newer. Violet's been around. Both of them have kind of been around for a little bit. Polar is another one.
Yeah, I've heard of Polar.
Quasi has been around.
I've heard of that.
So there's a lot of brands. So we don't sell every brand. We have a lot of the old school like. We have Santa Cruz Zero.
I wonder if Machine. I think also like certain areas, like maybe like in your area, these are popular in your area. And for I think 88 right now too, like they're selling stuff like that King, I think it's called a brand.
Yeah, I think that's Tyshawn's brand.
Right.
Yeah, that's Tyshawn.
So you know what I mean. So the kids are asking for that over there. You know what I mean. They want the Nikes and everything too. So
it's a trip because we do of course we get some kids sometimes that ask for stuff that but at the same time like
it'll be. They always know what they get what you have in the shop mostly.
I feel like 99% of the time, if a kid comes in and they're looking for example, like an element board or a Plan B board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like most, like, and it does happen every once in a while. Someone asking for something like that, and but I feel like most of the time, since we don't have it, we're pretty good at like, yo, we have a bunch of other sick stuff. Like, what size?
Yeah.
825. Do we have like 18 different brands and like 825? You know, whatever. Like, what's up? Like, we can show you some other stuff. And some people are gonna be, oh, I was actually really looking for that Chris Johnson like Plan B board.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, that's cool. You know, good luck finding it. You know, blah blah blah. And we don't mess. We don't sell that stuff. You know. And then if someone asks for a board that we don't have, but it's a brand that we sell, sometimes we will try to help someone or like see if we can track it down or see if we can do a special order and stuff.
That's
you know, with
cool.
shoes and boards, we try to do stuff like that. But it does happen when people ask for a brand like Plan B, or before we had before Frankie was on team, we didn't really have primitive, and so people would ask for primitive boards sometimes, and like, nah, man. So we don't have flip, but I said some brands that I feel like you would think more people would ask. Like, we don't really.
That's what I'm saying, because the kids nowadays, like you said, they probably want the Violet, and it just depends on, limousine and the.
For sure, just depends on the area. I think too, the area and what's
and what
popular.
Their friends are all hyped on, and everybody,
Like, we don't sell Adidas at the shop. Adidas is sick.
Yeah.
We've never sold Adidas, and every once in a while people will ask. But we don't get like.
Do you
a lot
guys
of
sell
people
any like S or Etnies and like that, or no Converse?
We do have some Americas.
Okay.
We have a little taste of some Americas.
I went in there yesterday and I saw the Servals and Leos.
Yeah, they're. I mean, America's been around forever.
Right.
You know, obviously all those brands. I saw they were bringing back those Ronnie Krieger S's.
Yep.
And I was like, oh man, like that shoe. Like, I remember having that shoe, and I just love that shoe. And
see, that's what I like about S right now, is they're bringing back all the nostalgia.
It's kind of sick.
But I don't know if everybody's heard already, but Soltec is actually no more. They got sold to another brand, to another company. Okay. They're still gonna be the face, like, what's his? I forget the owner's name, but him and Don are still gonna be kind of working still with S. So, and luckily Kelly Hart too as well. So, but from what I heard, it's gonna go in a pretty exciting direction. So that's pretty cool. So hopefully they keep bringing out those nostalgic shoes, because like you said, that shoe already, I could see it brought a memory to you. And
yeah, it's a trip.
Just thinking about it.
It's a trip for me to see, to like.
What shoes are you rocking? You like the Converse?
Right now I'm wearing some Chucks, some Chuck Taylor Pros.
But what do you skate in?
I've mostly been skating in New Balance.
New Balance? Okay.
Yeah, I
a certain number you like?
I do. I like the Frankies, but I want to say my favorites are the 440. It's a 440. I have some high top 440. It's like a V2, so it's like a newer version of the 440 that's like better. They made it. That's what's kind of cool about New Balance, is they actually get feedback from the skaters and people that are wearing them, and they make changes of the shoe to make it like,
that's cool.
Like,
so it doesn't always stay the same.
In the heel, like, enough people are like saying they'll actually go and they'll fix it, and so this is the 440 like V version 2. Like, wow. Imagine the V sounds.
See, that's cool, because
2.
Because you could be like, yeah, I really like the style of this shoe. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. But then it gets like, there's this one little, if they could just tweak this, and then they go and fix it for you, that makes you go and buy the shoe again instead of going somewhere else and trying something different. And
they're super. It's cool that they let the skate shops be so involved with that too. They invite us over to these meetings and stuff, and so
cool.
they can tell us, hey, check, this is coming out. We're changing. We're making this one better. This is a new colorway that's coming out. We're super involved, and it's nice. But yeah, that shoe's super, super good. That's I'll probably say my favorite. But the 306, the Jamie Foy, it's kind of been around for a while. It's like one of their OG skate shoes. I like that shoe a lot. That's in my top 3. Has to be my top 3 or 4. So the 306, the Jamie Foy for sure is good. The 272 I like. The Tiago 1010 I like.
I just bought the Tiagos. I have them on right now.
I like those. That was actually the very first one that I tried. I noticed a lot of my homies were skating those.
Yeah.
And they just look kind of sick. And I remember I got some, and I tried them out, and I was like, oh, these are kind of sick. It took a little while for New Balance to grow on me, especially since, but working at the shop and having them at the shop obviously influenced me, and just seeing kind of some newer stuff coming in.
I was actually really surprised when I was skating. I seen the kids wearing the New Balance, and I'm like, isn't that a dad shoe?
Isn't that like a running shoe?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, that's the cool brand. And I'm like, and I still haven't tried any on. I'm gonna tell you the truth, but I heard they're really, really comfortable.
I started with the Westgates. The Westgates, I got sold. I got sold onto New Balance through the Westgates.
I think it's a 508. I think.
Yeah, and then correct. Now I bought the Tiagos, and I'm like, all right, let's see. I mean, I rode them yesterday, but I was like, fuck, they're too poofy. Maybe I gotta wait until they break in.
They're comfy though, right?
Yeah, they're comfy. Like I'm just chilling.
So there's two actually. There's actually two Tiagos. There's a 1010s, and then there's there's the 808. No, those are the 1010s.
Yeah.
The 808 is a kind of bigger, bulkier one, but even that one, they're kind of slimming it down. Just because it's just a little like. People like it, but
I like to skate in bulky shoes.
Yeah,
I still
like them.
I still rock the OG XLs when I skate. So
but yeah, I just for whatever reason, I just kind of been sticking to New Balance as far as what I've been skating in. There's for just because I just like the way they feel. But every once in a while I still like to try stuff out. When we had when Leo Baker's shoe came out, they hooked us up with a bunch of like promos. So I was able to get a free pair and skate them. And they were actually really good. The Leo Baker shoes, to me, I mean, as far as how it looks, it's not like my favorite shoe, but it's super comfy. I don't know, I just really liked it. So
the functionality.
That was the last Nike SB that I skated, and I'm sure a lot of people have tried them. They've been around for a while, but that shoe is really sick. So I do like to try their stuff here and there, but for sure, the last year or two, I've most seasons been skating New Balance numeric.
That's dope.
They have a lot. I don't like all the styles, but they have a lot of styles. The foys. I feel like there's one I'm missing that I like. Oh, the 408, the 480 is another one. That's the one that that came out recently, and they did the first Andrew Reynolds colorway.
Oh, dope.
Dope. And I did get to. I probably can't say too much, but I did get to see some sneak peaks of some new stuff, some new stuff coming out.
We'll talk about it after.
So I have to be careful not to say too much about that. Right.
No,
but it was super cool. Yeah. And so I love that they let us get
sneak peeks.
I love that they let us get involved.
And
see some, because we get excited about it, and
that's dope.
So yeah, to me, it's pretty awesome to feel like I know those dudes now, because I know people. I've met reps and stuff from Nike and Converse, and everyone's cool, and but for me, the New Balance crew, their team. Chad Timpton is a team manager.
Okay.
And it's just something about their crew and their team that just make just really feel
they know the
welcome
skater. It's Chad Timpton, man. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like all those guys skate too. All the dudes, and they were just super welcoming. My very first time. I think that's what it was too. Just my first time going over there to Long Beach and meeting at their little headquarters and stuff, and meeting them and stuff. That day they were like, oh, they had a bunch of shoes, just kind of chilling. They're like, oh, grab take some stuff home with you, and I was like.
That's
really?
Right.
Yeah, what size are you? Oh yeah, dude, grab a couple of shoes, and they were just so friendly and giving, and I just thought that was cool. It just felt very cool, and
very welcoming, right?
Yeah,
right.
So
all right, let's get into your what's your board setup? What do you like to rock?
When I do have time to skate.
Yeah, when you got time to skate.
Man, I've been skating. I've been skating Thunder Hollows for a while. And I've been skating. I skate a lot of hand-me-down boards from the team guys. Sometimes I leave the boards just for
It's not you don't have a particular size. It doesn't have to.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm in between 8'1" and 8'25".
Okay.
So I skated. I've been around for a long time. So I started with 775 back in the day, and eventually worked my way up to 8. And so 8 was just that was the size for 10 years.
Same here.
And then eventually working at the shop too, everyone was getting bigger boards. Everyone was getting 8'3", 8'5", and then little by little I started trying bigger stuff. So 8'25" is kind of is as big as I'm comfortable with. I still like a smaller board. I'm not a big guy.
Right. And but you see these little kids though. Sometimes they're rocking big boards. You're like, what are you doing?
Oh, for sure. It's crazy to me, but for me, I there's things that I like about a wider board, but I like to do a lot of kickflips, and I'm still trying to get better at a lot of flip tricks, and I feel like a smaller board makes it a little bit lighter, a little bit easier for me. Yeah. So I'm in between an 8'1" and 8'5". My ideal size would be an 8'1", I guess you could say, because there's weird sizes. Once you get in that range, you see 8'1", 2'5", and then Hockey FA have an 8.18. That's kind of a 6 size. and it's like a little bit bigger, but like not as big, but still under 825. It's like it's in that window.
Those little millimeters make a difference.
I like those. I like that 818. I skated a couple of those, but I just mostly been skating FA hockey boards, and then Blim. I've been skating some Blim boards too, which is like a new shop brand that been.
I see. Did you have some shoes too or something?
I made some custom.
Oh, okay.
Just for fun. I like to. I've been on my free time. I like to do a lot of like just random stuff, and that was kind of a fun little project. But just so my setup, so I'd say like an 8-1, 148 Thunders, Spitfire, anywhere from like 53 to like I'm probably on the smaller side for wheels. I like kind of like 53, 54.
Well, I like 50 millimeters, so that's
okay.
It's
I'm comparing it to like what most kids skate these days.
Yeah.
Like or most skaters. Like
I like 50, 52s. You know.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was used to for sure.
Yeah.
So these days I just feel like a little bit going like I feel like a little bit more wheels as it'll be a little bit smoother ride, a little faster.
For sure.
But I always think about like the weight and like I like a really tiny wheel because it's stuck in it with like hollow trucks, tiny wheels. You know, a small board like your board's gonna be really light and like. But so I have to. It's hard to find a balance.
Yeah.
But I'm right there, and then I think that's pretty much it for my setup.
That's cool.
I'll switch out my wheels here and there. I've been mostly skating Spitfires, but I like to try out the different shapes. I don't know if I have one that I like. I like the looks, of them. I like the OG classics. I like the lock-ins. I like the tablets. Like they all kind of look sick, and but I don't know if I have one that I feel like, oh, that's the shape, like the conical.
Yeah,
like, that's the shape.
I've never been like the guy where it's like, oh, like these ones that are cut this way, I have to have those or whatever because of the ledges or whatnot. But
even like the classics, I feel like I probably skated like, I don't know, like at least 6 or 7 different styles as far as like the shapes of the wheels. And to me, I can't. I know that there's a difference, and I don't feel a huge difference. And at the same time, like I'm not really doing backsmiths. Or like I don't have all the tricks, or like I'm not super technical.
But you got some flat ground, I saw.
I can skate, for sure. I've been skating forever, and it feels good.
You played a game of skate for a board, didn't you? Like for a pawn shop.
I did I did like a contest where you come play me skate. And if you beat me, you got a board.
That's
so
cool.
I could do the basics. But my point with the wheels is that like I like the lock-ins are made like you can see. You look at the wheel, you can see that it's like. How it's made, you can I can understand how it could lock into grinds easier just by looking at it. It's kind of sick. But as far as like actually being on the board and like doing a Smith or something, like I'm not there yet. I can't really I can't Smith or feeble or there's a lot of things I can't do yet. So for me, a wheel is just like they kind of feel the same.
Yeah, same here.
For me, it's just the size. I just don't like something too big, too small.
Yeah,
and then I'm good.
Yeah,
but I do. Even though I'm 40 already, 41, like I am always trying to like learn and stuff, and like I do hopefully want to get to the point where I can do a little bit more on ledges and rails and stuff and get a bit more technical. Just because it looks fun and
Yeah, same here, man.
I have a little son that's skating now. He's 7, and I want to like teach him and stuff too. I've already kind of been working with him. Yeah, that's why I'm rocking the Sultana Ezra. I wore this for you. This is his school. His elementary school. So
okay. Shout out. What's his name?
His name's Ezra Jameson.
Okay. Shout out.
He's a sick dude. He's a sick little dude. He's 7 right now, and it's been crazy for sure being a pops.
And now that he's getting on the board, that's exciting.
Pretty it's really sick to see him this year. This is the year that something like clicked for him. Yeah. Where he like jumped on the board and we were inside the house and he was on his iPad and he was looking at like a skate video or something on his iPad. I think I was sitting down drawing, and he just says, "Dad," and I looked up and what's up, and he gave me that look like he actually like it's funny because I want to tell him the story when he gets older,
Yeah.
And he just looked at me and he was like, "I want to skate." And he said it like that too, all sick, like I want to skate, and I was like, "All right, sick." Like you mean like right now? And then I didn't it wasn't a big deal at the moment, but the way he looked at me and then I was like, okay, I'm like, so like for real, like you ready?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I have a good idea. He's like, because the next day was his first day back to school after like Christmas break, and he's like, I have a good idea. What about tomorrow? I don't go to school and we just skate all day. And I was like, hey, nice try.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's kind of sick that you're even thinking like that. But I go, but no. You're going, I go, but there's still some daylight right now. I go get your helmet, go get your board. We'll go outside right now and we'll practice right now for a little bit. And then when you get out of school tomorrow, we'll skate.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right. But he tried to get out.
He tried.
But yeah, that was it. Like, that was a special moment for me. And something. I don't know what video he watched. I wish I could have seen what it was. Because he had been, he's a kid. He's on YouTube
spark.
all the time. And he sees, obviously, he's been around skating since he was a baby.
Right.
But something clicked that day where he was like, hey, like, this looks kind of fun. I think he saw it. I think it was just like a little kid skating a mini ramp or doing a kickflip or something. And he was just like, something clicked where I was like, so that was a very proud,
Hell
and then we built his first setup. When he turned 7, I got him his first complete, and we built it together. So I made sure I filmed that and documented that because you never know. He could grow up to be a sick skater. This could be kind of like, this could be like it. It could be where he got real excited about it at first, and then he wants to do something else. And I don't want to be that. I don't want to pressure him too much. I want to push him. I already have to push him a little bit when we do go out. He gets kind of lazy. He doesn't want to try stuff. And I'm like, dude, like now that you can ride, like let's try to learn some stuff. And he gets kind of frustrated, but I never want him to do it because dad, wants
pressured him into it.
So it's hard for me sometimes to find the balance.
He's got to find some friends too, like to skate with too. You know what I mean?
He has a couple.
He has a couple.
Yeah,
okay,
I got a little homie named Kyrie that I've done like skate lessons with and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they've met. He's sick. He's like same age, but he's like he's actually sick. And I worked with him a little bit, and he's so I got to bring my son around him, and you can kind of see someone that was his age. Even though he's a little bit more advanced, it's like a little intimidating for him. Yeah. But at the same time, it pushes him. Yeah. And I've already saw where they were together, where he was like kind of like trying to push himself a little bit.
That's cool.
So, it's been really sick. So hopefully he sticks with it. If not, it's not the end of the world. He's so talented. He can draw. He's into music. He can dance. Like he's a sick kid. He can do a lot of different things. So whatever he wants to get into, he's gonna be good at, and he's probably gonna be good at a lot of different things.
That's cool.
So I'm super proud of him, Ezra. I love you, man.
Shout out.
Yeah, super proud of him.
All right.
He's tough sometimes for sure. He's a kid, and he's a little psycho sometimes. But
yeah,
he's dope.
All right. If you could travel anywhere to skate, where would you want to go?
It's gotta be like somewhere in I would say like Europe.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even know any I can't even think of any specific spots, but I haven't really traveled that many places just in general. You know what I mean? I flew to Colorado for that Zumies thing.
Yeah.
That was sick. That was actually honestly a really, really cool thing I got to do. And I went to Mexico as a kid, but I haven't really traveled really anywhere. I've been to up north. I drove to Humboldt. That was a crazy drive. And it's pretty beautiful up there. And I've been to San Francisco and stuff. So I've been but I haven't really traveled. So for me, anywhere.
Anywhere
I want to go to Europe and yeah, that place seems amazing. That would probably be on top of my list.
For sure.
For sure, somewhere out there. I would say just anywhere out there.
How about with the fam? If you want to take the fam for vacation.
A dream vacation. My stepdaughter has traveled a lot.
Okay.
And she's got to see a lot of cool places. And she's gone to Europe I think twice already and just bounced around and got to see all kinds of different cities and countries and stuff. So, my son has talked about it, especially because his sister has traveled a lot, and he's kind of put it in his head. And my son's just very he's curious.
Yeah.
So since he was really little, he's like, hey, I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Africa. I'm like, all right, sick. Maybe we'll plan a trip.
That's cool.
It's not that easy. I don't think he gets it. That
right.
It's a lot that goes into that. But
shots and all too if you're going to Africa. But
somewhere with the fam, take my son and my girl, my stepdaughter, with us, to go on a family trip. I don't know. I feel like Caitlin knows a lot of cool spots already in Europe and stuff like that. So I feel like just going out there and letting her kind of be a tour guide and maybe pick a couple spots that she hasn't hit out there. Because for me, it wouldn't matter. It's all new to me.
Yeah. You're going to be looking at, look at that ledge. And, they're going to be showing you this architecture.
I still want to go to, New York. I still want to go to, Florida, New York. I want to at least travel, to my own country and see, eventually. I'm sure, time will come and we'll plan some trips and stuff like that.
That's cool, man.
But yeah, I haven't really been around too much. But it's okay.
It's all good. Hobbies off the board, your artwork. And
obviously drawing. I've been drawing forever. I've been drawing
Okay.
since I was like 3. So that's kind of my bread and butter. That's what I'm kind of always been known for, honestly, since I was a little kid. Since I was like a really little kid, I was always like Vince the artist.
that's
Like
dope.
that was just always attached to my name, like
Vince
as
the
a little
artist.
kid, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know, and to be older now, a lot older, and to still feel like I'm an artist and to still be like recognized, and
your art is being
it's
put to
cool.
use too, which is great.
I said that's I said being able to do a lot of the artwork for the shop and stuff has been a real like blessing and like a really cool opportunity for me too as an artist.
Mhm.
I feel like that's helped out and it's kind of motivated me too in a way too.
Of course.
For sure, in a lot of ways. So drawing has always been my number one hobby, but I do like playing basketball. I don't really play. I'm a big sports fan. I'm a big basketball fan, Laker fan.
Lakers.
I rarely play these days, but I grew up loving basketball. So that's always.
And Kobe.
So
and
now
Shaq
with my
era.
son, yeah. So with my son now, it's sick when we mix it up and because I don't want him to get burned out with the skating either.
Yeah.
So I like when me and him go and like shoot around because that
Okay.
reminds me of me playing with my dad, and I like that I can pass that down. But on my own, like I'm not really playing. But that was a big hobby and a big for sure a big love of mine for a long time. And then I'll probably start playing more too as my son gets older and he wants to play.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's gonna motivate me to play more too.
Heck yeah.
But drawing, basketball, and then I play music. I
and
play
that
guitar.
and that old saying, you got to play catch with your dad too. You know, get a
Oh, I
baseball.
got it.
you know?
I still gotta do that.
Yeah.
I still have to. I've been telling him, like, dude, like, we gotta get a glove and a ball and a
Yeah.
bat and go play some baseball.
You know.
And he's like, I guess. He's like, whatever about it. But I think it's gonna be fun when we.
Yeah.
And he's hit a little bit on a little tee, like when I was as a toddler, like I had him on a little baby like
Yeah.
T-ball thing.
Yeah.
He's hit some balls, but it's time that we go and play catch, and even with the
Catch.
football, I want
Yeah.
to like
Get
touch
some
the football.
coordination. You know, it helps. You know,
But I also play music. I also play guitar.
Dope.
I can play a little bit of drums.
a
Play a
guitar.
little bit of bass.
Little bit of bass. Okay, guitar.
Yeah,
and bass,
I picked up guitar at like 12 years old, so like it's a trip because as long as I've been skateboarding, I've been playing guitar since I was 12, so even longer.
Here you go, right here.
Sick. Oh, sick.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Where the Locals Sk8 guitar pick.
So that's a big one for me. I played in bands and stuff. It's a trip. It's a trip because that was always that side where I just grew up loving music. I picked up guitar at like 12. Played a little bit in like I think we started our first band in like junior high. We played a talent show and we
That's
sucked,
cool.
but like we played.
Yeah,
And we
but
went
you
out
had the
there, we
courage to
played
get
with
up
these
on the
little
stage.
amps, and that's how it kind of was kind of the beginning for me. And I still play. I haven't been in any bands or haven't been writing a lot of stuff the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got a new guitar recently from got it at Fred House in Covina. Shout out to Molly and Chips. Those are
Shout
the
out.
homies. And I got a sweet little Mustang, Squire Mustang there, and that kind of hyped me up a little bit to
Yeah,
start
yeah.
playing again. So yeah, it's a trip because I spend most of my free time skating.
Yeah,
But I always like I want to pick up my guitar and play and learn songs and write stuff.
and then your son could see that. Maybe he'll want to learn an instrument as well.
So I just think I've always tried to do everything my
Mhm.
whole life. You know, play guitar, play music, be an artist, play basketball, everything. I just try to mix it up and do everything, and that's sick. And it's kind of like where I'm pretty good at a lot of different things.
Right,
But I think as I got older, I started kind of like gravitating more towards like one thing. And
right.
I think for whatever reason,
Your time gets filled up
like,
with family and other
skating-
things too. So you
skating is the one that it's a kind of a stress reliever. I get a good workout from it, just physically. You know, I get a lot out of it. It's fun. It's challenging. That's what I fell in love with. That's how I fell in love with it. It's just
right.
so it was just so fun and challenging. And so that's the one that on my free time where I'm like, I'm gonna go skate. Like I can do anything else. If I can do anything right now, I'm always like, okay, we go hit up a manual pad. Let me go hit up the homie and see like get a little session at the park. Or I skate a lot by myself.
Okay.
I don't mind. Sometimes it's cool. I don't mind.
Alright.
Sometimes like it's fun to skate with the homies, but sometimes it's nice. And I don't skate with music. I know
Okay.
a lot of people skate with music. I like when there's music at the park. If like the homie
Like
has
a
a
radio?
speaker or something.
Okay.
I like it, but I don't really. But yeah, hobbies for sure. Like the main ones is music and drawing for sure. And then
Yeah.
so the basketball and my passion for sports and basketball. I don't really play. I need to. I've been lazy.
Yeah. And I noticed that you put every time you're driving something home, like shoes or something, you always put a seatbelt around it or something.
Oh,
Like you're always like any kind of product. It's like you got the seatbelt protecting it. I'm like, this guy, look at him.
That's funny. I definitely like to have fun with the editing, and I try to post cool stuff.
Yeah.
I just, for me, like I think the artist and like the creative side of me, when I can do something with a video, with like a skate video, and add music and edit and do slow mo, like to me that's a whole like other like that's just a whole thing.
Right.
And since I started skating, like the filming side of it, and even just recording myself, like when I first like just got my first camera and I was recording myself in my driveway in my house skating my little flat bar or trying to learn a frontside flip or something, but just being able to film myself, like I just was fascinated with cameras and like filming and documenting, and it's so much since the beginning that now with the technology, with like with the phones, how good the cameras are, and it's kind of it's cool. I like that I can go skate with some homies and like film some clips and like edit it like right there at the park, and like all of a sudden I have like an edit like with like a video with like skating, and it's like chopped up. You don't have to go home and go onto a computer.
Yeah.
But
amazing.
I know I love and I get a lot of good feedback from people too, like the trip out or like, oh yeah, I did that video was cool, like I like the way you did this or whatever, and I'm like, it's just fun for me. And a lot of times I do like to advertise. So for the shop, like if I get like New Balance hooks me up with say send me some shoes, I like to make a little video, like a little shout out, like hey thanks for the Frankies, like, and do like a cool it's fun for me, and then I at the same time I like to do
it helps the shop and it helps you, and it's like you said, but you enjoy it, so it's not even work.
I love doing that. Some
amazing.
As much as I like filming, sometimes I do like to just go skate and just like skate and not try to learn anything or just
have a good time.
Sometimes it's just fun to get away from that completely and just skate. But for me, like if I'm gonna try to learn something, I always want to film. Like I always want to like, set up my camera and my phone, and like, because if I land it, I'm like, hey, this is the first time I landed it, or I can, or if I don't land it, I can see why. I can see what I'm coming at the wrong angle, or I'm going too slow. So that's also been something that's helped me, and why I like filming too, is like it helps me learn.
That's cool. Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, that's how we had to learn back in the day. We didn't have the internet, so we had to like go to the VHS and rewind, play, rewind. Yeah, oh man, and fix the tracking and all that stuff. So, but Pralta, you have any questions? You're good.
It's just been kind of like
he's been
trying
chilling.
to keep up. With the,
no, I know you said you wrote down some notes. Did we cover everything that you wanted to talk about today?
I don't know. I think so. I mean, I didn't really have anything that I was like, I gotta talk about this. I wanted to really shout out to the shop. Especially just thank them for everything that they've done for me, and they know how happy I am there, and that's been a really cool thing for me, as far as my career too. Right. Just being a manager of a skate shop and making these connections and getting, even getting little people that are hitting me up to do artwork now,
right.
That have seen my stuff through.
I saw you did that brewery one.
So yeah.
The Aero Lodge.
We did a brewery. Yeah, we did one with them before. This was a collab with Homebread, Aero Lodge, and then us.
That's cool.
And it was kind of a trip. How it all went down. I'll just say that they came to us. I drew a little sketch, and it was Anthony's idea to draw a beer can with like 2 boards, costume boards, and like 2 like little like Air Force Ones.
Okay.
Or whatever, like just 2 shoes.
Yeah.
And he drew like a crazy, a pretty crazy sketch and gave it to me, and then I drew. I actually drew like a quick one. I sent it to him, and then I did another one because it was super quick. So I did another one a little bit better, but it wasn't like a final drawing.
Right.
But I sent it to him.
Rough sketch.
It's kind of a pretty but I sent it to Anthony. I guess he sent it to the dudes at Aero Lodge, whatever. And then all of a sudden, like the label was done.
They used the rough sketch.
Yeah. Yeah. All of a sudden it was done, and I was kind of like tripping, like. Okay, but they put like a border, they highlighted it, they put a border, and they made it colorful. But it's a black and white sketch, but they put color around the outside. So it was a weird feeling of like, damn, that's tight, and but at the same time like, ooh, like, I
didn't know that this was going to be the final.
Yeah. It says beer together.
Yeah.
And people have seen it. I'm sure people have seen it. It looks sick, but it was just that's something.
We got a little insight on that. Yeah.
Yeah. That one thing that was kind of. What made that special for me too was as much as like the artwork and stuff that I've been doing for like the Instagram and flyers and stuff like that, I haven't really done like a pawn shirt or like a board or anything yet like that. So that Aero Lodge one was the first, because they made T-shirts with it. So that's my first pawn shop like T-shirt that has my artwork on it. And I know it's not just a pawn shirt; it's a collab shirt.
Yeah.
But for me, like that's it's
like a milestone.
It's pretty cool, and it's not my best drawing. It wasn't even a finished drawing.
Wow.
But for me, like, I feel like it's something that's like a start of something too.
Oh yeah.
I said, well, they already kind of reached out to me. Kind of reached out to me and said that they maybe want to meet up and talk about doing some designs and stuff like that. And then which is cool.
Awesome.
And just like I said, I do have stuff in the works for sure for the shop. I've been, you can imagine, in 4 years, I'm doodling, I have a bunch of different ideas for pawn stuff, for logos and stuff like that. So I've shown a lot of stuff to Anthony, and we've talked about a lot of different stuff. I've done a lot of stickers and stuff that came out really sick, where we're like, oh yeah, we need to do something, and we haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
but
it takes some time.
There's one coming soon. That's like it's like my version of like the wing and wheel.
Okay.
It's like you guys will see it. It's a wing and wheel, but it's like open in the middle, and it has a P. The pawn shop P is like in the middle of it, and it's kind of just a different version, different look of the wing and wheel. But it's cleaned up. I met up with this other dude, who's kind of helping me. He's like the computer guy, because I'm very old fashioned. Like I just pen and paper, and I could do something pretty clean, but I'm not a real computer guy so much anymore. But so I worked with the dude, and he kind of cleaned it up. So I'll have something that I designed that's coming soon. So that's going to be a kind of a cool thing, really cool thing for me too, a special thing for me too, and hopefully more to come after that. I really want to do a board. I want to do a pawn board.
That'd be sick.
Like a whole capsule will be like so I want to have it like, when it comes out, I want it to be like a whole shirt, board, hoodie. So it's coming. It's coming. I'm definitely have a lot of ideas, and
we can't wait, man. That'll be dope to see that happen.
But I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything like crazy, like from my story as far as like the skateboarding side of it. Like,
all right. Well, we know what time it is now, right?
Crazy question?
Crazy question time, man. Let's have you pick a question from the bowl.
All right.
And see what we get today. Yeah.
Let's see.
This is how we close out the show.
Right on. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay, if you could get your own skate shoe, what company is making it? That's a sick question. Man. I mean, I have to say, since right now I'm most hyped on New Balance and skate New Balance. That's kind of I have to like, and I have a lot of love for Vans, and but if I had to pick one, I would go New Balance, just because I've been skating them a lot lately. I like the team. I like the whole crew, like the people that like running the program over there, and so I had to go New Balance.
New Balance, and would you want a colorway, or would you want to design your own shoe?
I mean, that's an easy one. I mean, to have my own signature shoe. I mean, that's a dream. Right. To have my own board, like to go, to be a pro and have my own board and my own signature shoe. That's a dream come true. Right. So doesn't seem realistic, but the idea of like even having a colorway would be super sick.
What number?
Oh shoot, that's a tough one. Damn, I don't know, because you know what's funny is the way they pick the numbers sometimes is, I guess, like the higher the number, the more tech.
Right.
Okay, so you know that.
Yeah.
But there's been some where
they use like a 562, like an area code or something. Maybe.
Like Frankie, his is a 417, and he's from the 714.
Okay.
So I think that was a little play on that.
On the numbers.
So that's a tough one. I have to kind of think about that one. Maybe something, I would probably try to pick something like Kobe, like 824 or something dope like that, just to represent like my love for like Lakers and Kobe for sure. And then do like
Laker colorway.
That'd be sick. You never know, honestly, man, because like there's an artist I like a lot. I want to say his name's Henry Jones. Henry Jones, you guys might have heard of him, but he's a sick artist. He did some really cool boards for April and stuff like that.
Okay.
He's just a follow. If anyone that doesn't already know who he is, follow him. Check out his stuff. Super sick. He did some. He did a lot of cool stuff that I've seen recently. I've been a fan with him recently, but he came out with they gave me with an Adidas. They gave him a colorway, like a signature Adidas.
Dope.
And so it's had his name on it, and it's like has a little drawing of like a little. He drew like a little board, like in his like style, and it's pretty sick. So you never know, man. Maybe someday I could get a shoe like maybe it's not gonna be a signature shoe, but
right,
just to have my name or something on. You never know.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. That was a good question.
Yeah, man.
I said, I mean, to have any kind of colorway or anything of any Vans, Nike, Adidas would be anything would be sick. But if I had to pick one, I'd say New
Balance.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool, man. All right, dude. Well, this has been awesome today, man.
No, it's fun. I feel like, like I said, I feel like there's a lot of stuff, my own personal experiences with skating and stuff, you know, that to talk about and just old videos. I mean, I feel like we didn't even dive into like some of like.
Well, you could always come back, bro. Because
sick.
I know you have to go open up the shop, so we don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah,
and but yeah, you could always come back for round two.
Me and this dude go way back, and we were off camera. We were just talking about the homies, and I we didn't talk too much about the Wesco days, but that was one thing that was kind of cool about coming to the shop too. Was just I knew some of the dudes like T, and like I knew, and then Lil Joe's actually family too. Mm-hmm. His Lil Joe's grandpa and my dad were cousins, so we were actually related.
That's
so
cool.
That was kind of cool for me too. When I got the job at Pond, Lil Joe was the first person I text. Like when I walked outside, I was going back to Concrete Visionary. I was on my lunch break. And I remember texting Lil Joe, I'm like, dude, I think like I'm gonna start working at the shop. I just talked to Anthony. He's like, dude, that's sick. So that was really special, obviously, too. Like one thing that was really cool about working in the shop too was that factor. But yeah, just the Wesco days are a lot of fun, and
I remember just
we could probably have a whole episode and to get some homies in here and like just talk about old like Wesco Park days.
Yeah, I just remember showing up in the mornings. Like I would show up early and he'd be there, and me and him would just be sessioning together.
That's cool.
And then I was still young. I was still like in high school, still like growing into my skating.
Yeah, no, a lot of good memories, a lot of fun times with AC. I mean, I could name a few people that I was pretty close to that were like the regulars.
Yeah.
Locals and regulars, and I learned a lot there. Had a lot of fun there. Partied there. And I still like to go there. I know Wesco has a reputation now. It's kind of dirty. It's kind of run down, and it's sad a little bit.
It's skating though.
Yeah, it's kind of sad a little bit for me because that park just has a real special place in my heart, and it's sad to see it so dirty sometimes.
Yeah, but, like you mean like a mess and stuff like that.
It's just trash.
Yeah.
I think like they'll clean, like skaters will clean it up, or someone in the city, or sometimes someone will come clean it up and it'll look good, and then it just goes to crap again, and it's just kind of sad.
I think a lot has to do with those trees on the side. They need to get rid of them.
Well, the fence is kind of gnarly too. It's like it looks like a prison.
Yeah,
it's it's just like.
It has that feel, like the way the walls are painted too.
Oh, we did a DGK event there a couple years ago, and they cleaned up the park, and we had a sick super cool event there with DGK, and then people from the city were there, and like, oh, this is cool, and it looked like we were gonna maybe work with them, and we were gonna all team up to like clean up the park and stuff. And I don't know, like I said, I still like to skate there. I took my son there, and it sucks that it was so dirty, and and he had to see it like that.
Yeah.
But I was like explaining to him too, like, hey, this is where your dad, spent a lot of hours and like made a lot of his friends, and so that place. It's sick. I'm glad they haven't torn it down, and
that's good.
I think they need to clean it up. I think they need to maybe just clean it up, maybe change some stuff in there.
Clean it up and turn the lights back on.
And put some different paint on the wall. Let some artists come in and actually graffiti it up nice, because otherwise they just keep painting it the same color, and it's just like you said, it looks like a prison.
I actually grew up right by LP Park.
Okay.
Well, right by the high school. So LP. That's why I have such a this. I still skate to high school. I still like going to LP High School and skate. I took my son there recently, and we snuck in, and I let him skate around in there, and that was a real special moment for me to take him to my high schools where I used to skate, and to let him roll around in there. That was a real fun special moment for me and him. But it's always cool going back to like the old school spots.
Yeah.
But I grew up right there by the high school, right by the park, so. It's a trip that I played t-ball right there where the LP Park is. I was 5, so it's a trip. I live in Montclair now, so I'm not down this way as much anymore. Especially since I'm mostly working in Pomona now.
Yeah.
But it's always nice coming down to Wesco or to LP. It's because it just feels like home. Like it's a trip.
It's got those good memories.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. You got shout outs?
I mean, I already said hi to my son, Jackie, Kaylin, mom. Just everyone at the shop, our whole crew, all the team guys. It's so cool to be a part of the family there. Just shout out to everybody there. I don't know. this was fun. This is cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys hit me up, and
Of course,
hopefully
man. We're glad to have you on, and
it'll be cool to come back for sure.
Oh, for sure, man. We'll have you back. And before we get out of here, I want to thank you for these that you hooked us up with, these little things little keychains, the pawn shop. So
You're
each of us
welcome.
get one of them. Thank you very much.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
and some stickers. We thank you very much for that. Prata, shoutouts.
Dude, first of all, big shout out to you, Vince. You know, grew up skating with you almost all my life. Always seen you at Westco. You kind of a mentor too, because you would teach us stuff and like show us how to do some tricks, and it was always just good times.
I don't know about that. But
I mean, you may not see it, but to us, like that, I always remember you like that, dude. Like every time I see you, I was like, oh, I always get hyped.
It was dope having you guys around too, because you guys would push me.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were the ones kind of jumping down, bigger stuff, but I appreciate that. That was a lot of fun.
Like I said, you played a big part in me growing up at that park. You were like the older dude that showed us a lot. You were always like cool. Whenever we see you at shops, you'd always help us out, hook us up, take care of us. So I mean, big shout out to you, man. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you're a lifelong friend of mine. And shout out, to the squad off to lunch. We're all out there working hard right now. Listo couldn't be here. He had his pink eye.
Well, he had a sty. He calling it pink eye.
I'm gonna keep calling it pink eye, and then I'm not gonna lie, I got him again right now by telling him that Vincent didn't show up because he didn't show up.
No, okay.
So I got him again. I got him twice with that joke today.
Damn.
Hopefully next time.
Yeah, next time.
I've been a big Liso fan for a long time too, and it's cool to see him like still ripping and like.
Yeah.
And that's not really a surprise, but it's just cool. I know he's got sober and stuff too, and I think that's been helping him or whatever.
For sure.
No, it's very motivating. I know. I'm older than probably most of the people you guys had on the show, but
no, not really.
Like
we've had a 63-year-old, so.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
But like I said, it is. It's been fun. It's been fun.
I'm 45, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you're right there with me then.
Yeah.
I'll be 42 this year.
I'm 12.
All right. So yeah, man, and is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to everyone.
Dude, I gotta, Listo out there, man. I hope you feel better. I hope we get you in here next week. Vince, thank you very much for coming down.
Fun.
Really appreciate that. I gotta thank Prata here for holding it down on the ones and twos today. I gotta thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure to go follow this guy on the Instagram. Go support the local skate shop, especially if you're in the pawn shop.
Pomona.
If you're in the pawn shop area in Pomona, go stop by and say hello. It's inside the building. Don't be intimidated to go in. And thank you all for tuning in again. And make sure to hit that all notification bells so you know when we're dropping our episodes. Please share the show out. It really helps us out with the algorithm. Let us know if you know somebody that wants to be on the show. We'd be glad to have you on. I'm OG Sk8. Till next time, peace out, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the pick. I'm gonna use it.